Assalamu alaikum and good morning, students. Welcome back to Teacher Munira's lesson. So now it is day 3 of this week's lesson where we are still on the topic counting to 1000. So if yesterday we learned on counting on in ones, for today's lesson we will continue with counting on in tens. So let's have a look at this first example where we have 5 sets of hundreds, 6 sets of tens, and 3 unit cubes for ones. So if we write this in numeral, we will have 563 or 563. If we were to add one 10-stick rod in group tens, so we will have 573 because we are adding 10. Remember, for one 10-stick rod, it consists of 10 unit cubes. So therefore, originally, we have 506 tens and 3 ones in numerals 563. When we add on one rod to group tens, so now we have 507 tens and 3 ones in numeral 573 or 573. So now let's have a look at more examples on counting on in tens. So let's have a look at the first example where we have the number pattern such as 740 going to 750, 760, and 770. The only thing that changed is the numbers in the group tens from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7. And as for the hundred and in ones, there's nothing that change. Okay, so meaning the jump from each number is adding 10. So you should know after 770, if we were to add another 10, we will get 780 and continue with 790. Going to the next example, we have such number pattern. As you can see again, the only thing that changed is the numbers in the tens. As for in hundred and in ones, there is no changes and remain as 5 and 9 respectively. So going from 1 to 2, 3, and 4, the next number should be by adding 10 to get 559. The next number is 569. So after you have done filling in the missing blanks, you should check whether it's adding 10 continuously. Okay? Because that is how you know the pattern for the numbers given. Now let's have a look at count on in 50s, meaning we are adding 5 10-stick rods to group tens. So here we have originally 4 sets of 100, one 10-stick rod, and 2 unit cubes in ones. So in numeral, we can write this as 412 or 412. If we were to add 5 10-stick rods to group tens, what will we have? So now we have 4 sets of hundreds, nothing changed. And now the tens, we are adding another 5. So now it becomes 6 10-stick rods and 2 unit cube for the group ones. In numeral, we can represent this as 462, meaning there's a jump of 50 from 412 to 462. So these are the summary of explanation on from 412 to 462, where the only thing that changed is adding 5 rods to group tens, and then we will get 462 as the next number after 412. So let's do more examples on count on in 50s. The first example here is where we have 340 going to 390, which is by adding 50. From 390 to 440 is another adding of 50. And the next number should be adding another 50 to get 490. and the next number after adding 50, you will get 540. As for the second example, similar to the first example, where we have 625 going to 675 by adding 50. From 675 to 725 is by adding another 50. And the next blank should be adding 50 to 725 to get 775. Continue with 825. So now let's have a look at count on in 100s. As you can see here, we are given 4 sets of 100, 1 10 stick rod in group 10s, and 7 unit cube for group 1s. In numerals, we can represent this as 417 or 417. If we were to add another set of 100 to group hundreds, okay, that means we are adding 100 to 417, okay, which you should get 517 or 517. Looking at the diagram, after adding one set of 100, now we have 500 in group hundreds, 1 10 rod, and 7 unit cube in group ones. So to explain this, originally we have 4 hundreds, 1 tens, and 7 ones. In numerals just now, 417 or 417. When we add on 1 flat of 100 to group hundreds, we are adding 1 to the group hundreds. So now we have 5 hundreds, 1 tens, and 7 ones. Therefore, 517 in numerals or 517. So now let's have a look at more examples of counting on in 100. As you can see from the first example, the jump is from 260 to 360, next 460. So as you can see, the only numbers that change is in the 100 groups from 2, 3, and 4. As for the tens and in ones, there is no change. It remains the number 6 and 0 respectively. So now, you should know by now from going to 2, 2, and 3 is adding of 100. So therefore, the next number is 560. Proceed with 660. As for the next example, similar to the first example just now, the only numbers that change is in the hundreds, which is 4, 5, and 6. As for the numbers in tens and ones, it remains 3, 5 respectively, as you can see. So we focus on the numbers that change. So you should know that it is adding by 100. So from 435 add to 100, we get 535. The next number is 635. And in the missing blank here, you should get 735. The next number is 835. Lastly, the number stated here, 935. From here, you should know and have a look at the numbers closely. Which numbers that change and which numbers remains the same. Okay? And now, for your task today, please turn to your workbook to A, page 4 and 5. Before you do the task, please write down the day and the date today and complete the task for today's lesson. And I hope to see you on the next lesson, which is tomorrow on Thursday. That is all for today. Thank you.